I welcome everyone to your meditation and mindfulness session on this Time Out Tuesday. My name is Skyla Ramirez, Holistic Care Specialist. Let's get comfortable. During this session, we are focusing on moving meditation. So this is considered an active style of meditation, also known as dharana, which means to focus on something intensely. And that in return will create this effortless peace or this effortless ease in the mind space with some sort of focus. And we're focusing on repetitive movement. So as we begin, you can either be lying down, knees bent, maybe to take pressure off your back. If the legs are straight, maybe put a pillow underneath the knees. For those of us who are seated, elevate your hips. Maybe put something behind your head and neck, whether you're seated or lying down, and make sure that you have something under your feet, whether you're seated or lying down. Sometimes it's helpful just to have a rolled up blanket or a pillow behind the ankles, something touching the heels or touching the soles of the feet. As we begin today, let's open up the palms of the hands. Feeling for energy expanding out from the palm of the hand, through the knuckles on each finger to the very tips of each finger. While you're here, taking a big breath. Make fist with both hands. Pull all of the muscles in as you're holding that big inhalation. Let's contract the entire body as much as possible and continue to hold that breath in until you feel it's right to let it go. So knowing that you are the one controlling and managing the process in this meditation today. When you're ready, let it all go. Letting go of any judgment as to any sensations that might reveal themselves during that contracted state. Letting go of any judgment of sensations that may reveal themselves when you release that contracted state. Let's one more time. When you're ready, taking a deep breath, reaching out through the fingertips with that big inhale. And at that point, when you are experiencing the fullness of the breath, curl the fingers in, make a fist with the fullness of the breath, begin to contract the whole body, pulling the elbows in close to the waist, tightening through the toes, maybe even pulling in the muscles of the jaw and the ears into the face or deep into the mind space. Hold it for only as long as it feels right for you. Moving by way of intuition. When you're ready to let it go, let it all go. The holding is optional. Letting go is optional. That is the lesson ultimately that we are learning in this meditation, and learning that it is our choice to hold by way of holding physical tension, and learning that we have the ability, we have the control, we are able to let go. That is through our choice. We affect that change, either holding or letting go. Let's try it one more time and feel for the sensations in the body. What does it really feel like to hold on? What does it feel like to let go? Feeling by way of physical sensation, not feelings by way of emotion. Just notice physical sensation. Let's try that one more time. Taking a big breath in through your nose as much as possible. Open up the fingertips as we introduce the body to this expanded state. We're really open. And now clench the fists, curl the toes, pull the muscles in, engage the buttocks muscles, pull the ears of the muscles into the mind space, pull your chest in tight. Hold it there for as long as you want. You get to choose how long you carry this tension. You're choosing the effort that goes into maintaining this holding process as well. When you're ready, and usually when the discomfort becomes so immense, so unbearable, that's when we let go. Now let's try this again. And instead of holding to the point where it's unbearable or letting go when it's unbearable, what happens when we only hold for a little while and we notice we're holding and we let go? Let go before it's unbearable. Let's try that maybe just 3 times. So we're only going to hold the breath now, maybe 3 counts at the most. And before we go into this, just so you know, it is very common sometimes in these short holding patterns for individuals to maybe have a burst of energy, sometimes even a wave of heat. Sometimes even this burst of energy can be interpreted as panic or anxiety. So if you feel that burst of energy, just ground yourself and remember that that energy or that wave sometimes can be misinterpreted as anxiety, but it's just an energy that's flowing through the body. It's working its way through the body. We choose when to hold. We choose to let that go. So let's try this. It'll be about 3 rounds. Exhale all the way. Let's draw in a big inhale, spread out the fingers, pause at the top of the breath, maybe take a few more sips of breath. Hold it, 3, 2, 1, let it go. Let's try that again. Big inhale. At the top of the breath, decide for yourself, fingertips open or closed, either one. Few sips of breath. Hold it, 3, 2, 1, let it go. Let's try that one more time. All the breath leaving from the body. Big inhale, pull the breath in through the nose. It might require some effort. Inhale. Pull it up through your ribs. Few sips of breath into the heart. Maybe make a fist. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Now let it go. Now just stay at ease. Stay at ease. You know you can move anytime you want. Maybe just for today, let's notice what happens when we don't act on that impulse to move. How might the energy change if we just study the sensation rather than acting on it? And in studying the sensation, there's no analyzing, there's no processing, letting go of judgment, expectation, simply breathing, feeling, and watching for the body. Just studying it, watching. In the same way that we may study the midnight sky, study the moon. In the same way we would study a sunrise or a sunset. Can we simply sit with the breath and with the body, just to see, coming to no conclusions, just watching. Study the sensations in your toes. And if you're not able to feel your toes, go ahead and give them a little wiggle. Move the toes just to know they are there and where they are in time and space. Become aware of the space between your toes and maybe still wiggling so that there is the awareness of space. Become aware of the ankles, softening the back of the ankle. And maybe let your feet even move left and right to move the ankles. Let's bring awareness up to the backs of the knees. And if you want, again, you could let the legs go out to the side a little bit, introducing just a fraction of movement to the knees and the legs. That way we're able to be aware of the space around us. There can only be movement with space. Bring awareness to the hips and the buttocks. either awareness of them relaxing or maybe tense for a moment and then relax, almost creating a pulsating type movement through the hips and the buttocks region, clenching and then softening, eventually coming into a resting state with the muscles of the hips and the buttocks, relaxing that place. Bring awareness to your shoulders. Maybe just feel that there's an energy deep in the armpit that pulls in, and then release. Release into the space. Bring awareness to your elbows. Maybe you bend the arms just a fraction of an inch, maybe a millimeter, and then release. Bring awareness to your wrist. Either have a sense of where they are in time and space, feeling for the presence of the wrist, or go ahead and roll out the wrist. Move around the left, move around the right, and then eventually come to stillness. Bring awareness to your fingers, where this all began today. This time, just wiggle the pinky fingers, and then wiggle the index fingers, middle finger, ring finger, thumbs. Wiggle all the fingers and become aware of the space between the fingers. We can only be aware of space when there is movement. There is movement in that space, eventually bringing the body to stillness, still aware of space, and there is still a movement in that stillness. Bring awareness up into the mind, the brain itself, and become aware of where you feel the center of your brain to be, the very middle of the brain. To find this place, we may want to draw a line in from the very middle of the forehead, go straight in, and then from the top of the crown of the head, straight down, feeling for where those points intersect in the mind space. As we inhale, flare out your nostrils and maybe open the hands a little bit. Feel the body slightly opening to receive the breath. Breathe up into the middle of the brain. And as you exhale, feel as if there is an energy, the breath leaving straight out of the middle of your forehead. So we're clearing out the mind space by moving the breath with awareness. Inhaling, the whole body opens to receive the breath, breathing in through the nostrils or the mouth. Feel the breath moving up, following the energetic line of the breath to the very middle of the brain. And then exhale, this energy leaves as a clean ray of light out of the middle of your forehead. As we continue to clear out the mind space, notice if the body on its own begins to reveal any sensations to you. Inhaling into the nose, into both nostrils, straight up into the middle of the brain, and then exhaling a single ray of light from the middle of the brain, moving out the center of the forehead. Your body and your mind, all on its own, may assign a color to the breath. It might assign a color to the inhale and maybe a different one to the exhale. Let's experiment with the suggestion of color. And at any time, if the colors aren't visible, simply focus on the presence of that energy, a sense of the energy. As you inhale, the breath enters the body, 2 rays of silver blue light, one into each nostril. Inhale, drawing those rays of light up into the middle of the brain. And as we exhale, the 2 become one. A single ray of white light leaves from the middle of the brain out the center of the forehead, follow that light or follow the sense of being able to see out into that space, illuminated by that ray of light. Inhaling the 2 rays of blue light, one in each nostril, goes to the middle of the brain. Exhaling, single ray of white light, leaving from the center of the forehead straight out in front of us. With the mind's eye, follow that light. Peer out. This is the light of intuition, the light that helps us to have more insight, seeing our lives clearly, seeing our path clearly, seeing the journey with clear perspective. Let's practice this technique of inhaling the blue light to the middle of the brain and exhaling that white light for about a quiet minute. At any time, if your mind begins to get off track or you get distracted, that's normal. That's why we meditate. When you notice those things, come back to the breath. Inhale 2 rays of blue light to the middle of the brain. Exhale the single ray of white light out the forehead. Rest your eyes. Let's take a quiet minute to practice this. Let the mind rest. Let go of any sort of assignment to the breath. Letting go of our desire or the assignment to guide the breath. And now just notice, where does it go all on its own? When we stay open to receive the breath, feeling as if maybe there's only a trace of effort. Energetically, it is effortless to receive the breath. Physically, there is a little bit of effort. Inhaling with that bit of effort and staying open to receive effortlessly. Exhaling, no effort. Just let go. Let's try this a few more times. Inhaling through the nose or the mouth, noticing where the breath goes, and staying open. Receive the breath. And then exhale, effortlessly, letting go. No holding. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Let's bring both hands over the heart, just stacking the hands gently over the center of the chest. The center of the chest energetically contains Anahata, the heart's space, unstruck. This ultimately helps us to embody unconditional love for ourselves and others. How do we love unconditionally? How do we love ourselves unconditionally? How do we love others unconditionally? Ultimately, we need to let go. Let go. This is known as the practice of parigraha. Whenever we think we cannot let go, if we think we are suffering in the day, if there's something that you're holding on to, remember your body has the most divine intelligence, and every exhale will teach you how to let go. Let's draw in a deep unifying breath together, opening to experience unconditional love. And now let go. Let the body show you that. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Please come back for our Thoughtful Thursday, again, 12 o'clock. I will see you then. Until then, everybody, peace with us all. Namaste. Enjoy your beautiful day.